Alright, so as I'm editing this, my voice has dropped because I've gotten sick, so the entire clickbait concept goes out the window. And even in the video, I chose a clip that was about the same depth as my voice. So in one point of the video, I know I say the Battle Droid's voice is deeper, and there are times in this show where the Battle Droid does hit a lower note, but, of course now my voice is deeper. But anyways, it's still a fun discussion of Formant, so hope you enjoy watching it.
Hey, so in today's video we're going to be talking about Formant. Formant is a magical thing. It can make a voice sound rich and deep, or thin and high, even without changing pitch. What do I mean? Well, watch this video and you'll find out. So the definition of Formant goes, music, the range and number of partials present in a tone of a specific instrument representing its timbre. Ugh, that's hairy. Maybe the second definition will be easier to understand. Acoustic phonetics, one of the regions of concentration of energy prominent on a sound spectrogram that collectively constitute the frequency spectrum of a speech sound. The relative positioning of the first and second formants, whether periodic or aperiodic, as of the O of Hope, approximately 500 and 900 cycles per second, is usually sufficient to distinguish a sound from all others. Okay, let's break this down. One of the regions of concentration of energy, basically where the sound energy is. Prominent on a sound spectrogram, aka prominent on a graph which measures the frequencies that collectively constitute the frequency spectrum of a speech sound, basically that collectively dictate how the sound sounds. The relative positioning of the first and second formants is usually sufficient to distinguish a sound from all others, aka the first harmonic and the second harmonic that comes when you make a certain sound, such as O, is usually all you need to tell what sound it is, or in this case, what letter it is. Now that may sound bloated still, so let me simplify it for you. Formant can be defined as the resonance of a sound. Basically, it's what frequencies are emphasized where. We'll get into the more practical applications of that later. So there's three basic characteristics of sound: the pitch, the formant, and the timbre. Pitch, formant, timbre? PFT? Phineas and the Ferb tones.
Bow chicka bow wow, that's what my baby says. Bow bow bow.
I said a bow chicka bow wow, that's how you get copyrighted. It's important to note what changes when sound is being produced naturally. So just take my voice for example. The pitch, which is basically the note that I'm hitting, changes all the time. If I held the same note over and over again for every word, it would mean the pitch would not be changing, at least not that much. But not in natural speech. In natural speech, the bass tone changes all the time. And the timbre, which is basically like the picture of your frequency response, that's made up of the harmonics and sibilants in your voice. The harmonics follow the bass tone around because they're always mathematical intervals. The sibilants pops up every so often for different letters, more often for consonants. That can be equated to the sound of the pick hitting the strings on a guitar. Oftentimes, those sibilants are the same frequencies, so technically they never change either. But oftentimes there'll be spikes in the frequency response. That is the formant. And that can be changed. And this is why some voices sound higher even though the pitch is actually the same. The first thing you can do to change the formant is to do a little bit of vocal effects. For instance, if you make your voice suddenly become more thin and squeaky, well, I'm not actually changing the pitch, but my voice sounds higher, doesn't it? Or at least thinner. On the other hand, if you kind of roll off the highs of the formant, you can sort of make your voice sound deeper, even though it's not actually changing on pitch. For instance, which of these two notes sounds deeper? This note or this note? Well, they're actually the same B. The first one with low formant, the second with high. Really, all that a human is naturally able to change formant-wise is the mid-range frequencies. When you have a low formant, the low mids are emphasized, somewhere around 200 to 500. When you have a high formant, the frequencies from about 1000 to 3000 are emphasized. And you could see those in my graphs. The opposite is also true. When you have a high formant, the low mids go down, and when you have a low formant, the high mids go down. So now we're going to do a little bit of a test with Reason's Neptune pitch adjuster, which has a built-in formant control. And I'm going to prove that this battle droid right here has a deeper voice than mine.
Find Master Yoda. What does he look like?
Does it sound deep? Well, maybe after all this. But let's pull this clip into Reason and I'll show you how it works. There we go.
He'll be the small, shriveled green one with the light.
What does he look like?
So let's look at this in the frequency meter, aka visual EQ. Spectrum meter, I should say.
What does he look like?
As you can see, not much in the areas of lows.
What does he look like?
Most of that is just rumbling from the tanks.
What does he look like?
Alright, let's pull in a pitch adjuster here. Just going to do a little bit of effects here. Let's loop this.
What does he look like? What does he look like? What does he look like? What does he look like?
Formant, here we go, the magic little tool here. Let's turn it down.
What does he look like?
What does he look like? What does he look like?
It's already sounding more human, isn't it? Isn't that crazy? Let's keep going.
What does he look like? 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 What does he look like?
Let's zero in on this little note right here. So that's an A flat, right? Let's make a little, let's make a radical piano track right there. Pull up the keys. Oops. And as you can tell, my voice doesn't wander down there very much. It does get close sometimes, but I mean, there are deeper clips from a battle droid too sometimes. That's just the one I chose. So as you can tell, the Formant is a powerful tool to make a voice sound different than it really is. And any other sound, actually. Let's add a pitch adjuster to this. This ought to be interesting. Aha, you can hear that spike, that resonance going up the scale, or just going up the frequency spectrum. Listen to that, it was like... Now we'll go back down. You know what, let me get that out of the way so you can see it on the Spectrum EQ. Is actually just like the resonance on a filter like this. Watch this. I'm going to add some, this filter here. Let's turn up the resonance. Now this is an extreme example. Cool, huh? Anyways, thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. And yeah, go out there and start telling everyone, I bet I can trick you into thinking that one note is higher than another. But yeah, guys, again, thanks for watching. Sayonara.